Where's this man at? This man's right here, bro. We right here. We in this bitch. We in this bitch. So let's be transparent. Earlier in the night, I took a dub on NQ. I caught 20 or 13 pips here on this push up. And then I was gonna take a re-entry on the push above this level here. But I wasn't home. So I'm hanging out with my cousin right now. We're smoking a few joints. He's gonna hang out with me here for a little bit. Now that we're looking at gold, right? We've dumped this. We've just completely dumped. This is a strong level of support that I have drawn here, and now price is coming back above to re-break the daily high. Now, normally I would be taking this re-break of the daily high here, but we have this such strong level of resistance here that I want to wait. I want to confirm that we're gonna close above it. We're gonna form support here, and then on the re-break of the daily high once again, that's when I'll take another entry, right? We're about to have an hourly closure. So in reality, I want to have a pullback. I want to have a bottom wick, and then I want to have a push up, right? I don't want to see it start to drive too far now. I want to see price drive, or at least spend the next hourly forming support here before re-breaking the daily high. What's up, Ing? How are you guys today? That's nice.
The first you just said first. That was nice. But look at the omegas that was trying to.
600.
Beautiful, classy, super classy.
I like that one. If they had that one in gold. Sorry, again, we're looking at watches that we're gonna buy in the future when we become more successful. So we came down on this hourly, right? How did this hourly close? Our hourly closed with the top wick. Our hourly came down, created a bottom wick. Our 30s closed bullish. Our 15s have closed bullish. We're still respecting this area though, right? So I want to be very careful. If we are going to drive and fill this range, right, we're going to have plenty of opportunities to enter. So there's no reason why we should be feeling FOMO. Like right now, I'm feeling a little bit of FOMO because I'm thinking of my entry, how I could be taking the re-break of the highs, but I know that we have a resistance here, right? And that lowers my probability. We are trending here on the SMA, but I want to confirm that we break above this, and then we can take the next entry up. If price is truly bullish and is truly going to go all the way up now, then we're for sure going to see a breakout, a pullback, and a continuation, right? At least until this level here where price could possibly slow down at, right? But we have, before we get there, we have 105 pips. So we could get something here to our next resistance on the 1 minute. So this could be a 1 minute push where we come and fill this entire wick. But I really would like to wait for us to push up, create a bottom wick, and then continue the drive. Not gonna lie, I've had a choppy week. I'm gonna read to you my week. I lost 50 pips on last Friday. I made that back on Monday. Then I lost 150 pips on Tuesday. And today I'm down total 23 pips. So this week I'm down 175 pips. Sorry, Friday I didn't lose 50 pips. I made 50 pips on Friday. My bad, bro. I'm feeling like I'm by myself and I just keep toking it. I'll smoke for like 30 minutes and then I'll put it out and then turn it back on later. Fucking this is the hard part about trading. How you, I saw, let's say I'm looking for 8 things, I saw 9 of them, and because I'm missing one of the things that I'm not seeing, I can't take the trade. And even though it's like as if you're playing basketball, bro, and you have a wide open shot, but somebody's about to block you, but you're like, I think I got it. I'm gonna risk it. If I miss the shot, fuck it, somebody will catch the rebound. I have nobody to catch the rebound here. I have to make sure that I'm the one wide open, and I have to make sure that I make it because I have nobody catching the rebound here. If I miss it, I'm fucked. I don't have anybody catching my rebound. So I have to wait for that 10th thing. I have to wait for it 100% of the time. If I don't wait for it, I can't take it, and I'm just going to have to watch price drive without me, unfortunately. Last time price tapped this area, we had a 130 pip pullback. So I don't want to be stuck in that. I want to confirm that we're breaking out before taking buys to continue this trend upwards, right? Now, if this is the daily high and we do start to reject here, we start to fail closing here, and we start to close back below, this could be the same setup as we had yesterday, where we get a break below this level and we start to sell off, right? So we got to be very careful here, right? Price tried to break the highs, it didn't drive. It rebroke the highs, it didn't drive. And now we're continuously for a third time trying to re-break the highs. This is the drive that has to take us out of here, right? We can't just continue hovering here at the daily highs, because that's not the breakout then. Just rebroke the high. And now we're driving. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see what happens here. "22 viewers tonight, pretty early too. I appreciate you guys for showing up." Yeah, I'm gonna attempt a buy stop here. For stops, I would probably use these lows here, to be honest. $50, $60 pips. Throw your whole portfolio on blackjack card on stake. Trust. Is that the gambling website? What's up, Chamo? How are you, brother? I don't really gamble besides trading. I guess you can call trading gambling. This one's not bad.
No.
It doesn't have that chemical taste
No.
that most of the street stuff has.
It's just super dense. Like they took it off a little bit early. They probably would have took it off, kept it a little bit longer, maybe like 2 more weeks.
Now the decarbing is what makes it fluff up. You should have decarbed it the right way.
Well, they didn't. They didn't snip right.
It depends what you're gambling, bro. Cause my boy sports bets, and I'm pretty sure that dude's got a fucking edge. Their win rate is like 70%, and their trades are all like 1-to-1, mainly.
Good bets.
I'm in here, guys.
Put that on.
No, that's the views in total. That's how many people have shown up, and then half of them have dipped.
Oh, cook.
Yeah, drop a like, gang. I appreciate you guys for showing up. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys for showing up and watching me show you guys my journey. Transparent as fuck, bro. Not a lot of people do this, bro. A lot of people are scared as fuck to do this. And it's nerve-wracking as fuck, you feel me? But at the same time, it's very rewarding, bro. Knowing that I don't even know what I'm saying. As soon as it's dropped in drawdown, my train of thought immediately disappeared.
Yeah, you could have, if you could put that song that they put when they're putting all the podcasters are doing an inspirational moment, and they put that one little song. I don't know if you heard it.
That's awesome, Chamo, bro. Yeah, bro. It's the reason I started trading. I started streaming, bro. Also, I'm going break even here. The reason that I started streaming, bro, that's a full closure at 15 pips. Plus 15 for the night. How do I make this smaller? Yeah, that tapped my break even. So now we wait for the next setup to form. Now we confirm that we're staying above this level. And then we just continue forming this and riding the SMA to the upside. I started streaming, bro, because I need to hold myself accountable, bro. When I'm on stream and I trade on stream, my win rate is 90%. I'm all-time positive on stream. And then when I get off stream, I disregard a lot of my rules. And I start to break a lot of my rules. And I'm like, damn, why don't I hold myself accountable in the same way that I do in front of other people? You know, it's like the saying, like, you can't be a good person in front of people and then a shitty person behind closed doors. You know what I mean? You have to be good all the time. So I can't just be an amazing trader on stream and then slack off and destroy all my fucking
That's the inspirational sound.
and destroy all my my progress that I've made, you know what I mean, and break my rules. So you have to do it on and off stream, hidden and in front of people. If you go and you give a homeless man $1 in front of somebody, then you need to do the same thing when you're by yourself and you're not recording for Instagram. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So if I'm following my rules to the T on stream in front of people, and when other people are watching and when I'm teaching, why do I then go and break my rules when I'm trading on my own? You know what I mean? There's no reason for me to do that. And this is just months of proof. Turn that shit off. It's just gonna get me banned.
You can't even have that sound?
No, I can't even have that sound.
That's crazy.
A rebreak of the high here might not be bad. This 5 closed without much of a top wick. We have a 15-minute closure. So yeah, bro, Don posted a video today, and the video didn't say much. A lot of people are still upset. But we know a few things from the video. We know, number one, the MAM isn't blown. We know the MAM isn't blown because he said that the day that loss that day was simply a pullback. And he was saying that he was getting emotional trading other people's money. That he thought trading his own money, he would have the same feelings trading other people's money. But the second, it's like when you're trading a demo account versus a live account. When you're trading the demo account, you have all the confidence in the world. And the second that you go live, your confidence goes out the door and your emotions take over. He was trading his $1 million account, but the second that 10x, and now it's other people's money, and the consequences not only affect him, but they affect other people, and not just a small amount, over 150 people. So dozens of people. The emotions change, bro. The emotions are harder, much harder. So yeah, it makes sense. You're like, oh, why would you tilt? I thought that wasn't part of your strategy. I'm like, bro, you're talking to a 24-year-old who just developed an edge within the last 3 years. This isn't part of planning for your edge. When you first started trading, though, are you ever going to expect that you're going to be trading millions of dollars in the future? No. If these fives give us better top wicks, I would be taking rebreaks of these highs. But these wicks aren't large enough to tell me, okay, the 5 created a top wick, it closed above, we created a bottom wick, and now we're flipping bullish, filling the wick, rebreaking the daily high. The wick fill is a kind of trade, but the wick fill gives you the higher probability of the daily high push being stronger, right? So our 15 closed, and our 15 barely has a top wick, but we've closed in range. So what do I want to see, right? I want to see price. It already did this that I wanted for that trade. Now that we're up here, I needed to create a wick, come down, and give us something to re-break, because on the 5 minute, this doesn't look clean. And on the 1 minute is the only place where this re-break of the high looks clean. I could have taken a re-break of the high there, but my back is in a lot of pain though. Ugh. That my stop loss would just be massive here. It's 100 pips to the bottom of the range. Yeah, I was gonna say buy stop on the rebreak of the high off the money printer after the money printer filled the wick. But then when I switched over to the 5 minute, there was just no top wick here, no top wick here, barely a top wick here. So either the push is just gonna trickle up like that, but I want wicks, you know what I mean? See how when we drove here, we pulled back, consolidated, and then drove? After we have just broken out of this range, I want to see a major consolidation like that and then a drive. So this is still my setup here, right? No. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on, buddy. Out of here. Sal. Sal de aquí. Sal de aquí. Sal. You're begging. Out of here. Can't stand it when you give a dog everything. You take him out. You give him food. You give him treats. You play fetch with them, you give them a nice walk and not just a boring walk, and they still beg for more. Like, bro, just relax, dude. Just relax. How's Rocky, bro? How's Rocky? Is he crazy still? Were they able to give him any training?
They booted him. He had no balls. Bro, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I got some tragic news. She's like, what? Rocky. She's like, what happened? I'm like, he has no balls. This was today. I got him
A jersey?
I got him a Dolphins jersey.
He should be calmer now that he's neutered.
Yeah, he's just like has major separation anxiety.
He's always had that.
Like, but that's worse.
Just get him weed gummies for dogs. Oh no, I'm mad that I gambled my money and lost it. Only 14 pips to that level. Man, if it's like my friend who sports bets, right? He withdrew like 10K this year so far sports betting. And what did one of my other boys do? On his first trade, he immediately put I'm gonna attempt another. He immediately put his whole bankroll in the trade. And his first one lost. But then he had to deposit more. And his second and third one hit. And then after like 5 or 6, he was up like from $60, he was up to like 300. Instant rejection. If price comes up and it re-breaks the high and we don't start to drive on this second re-break of the high, then I will manage risk immediately and probably either go break even or see what it looks like. Yeah, man, I don't know. I can't have too much of an opinion on the man. I could only speak on the facts and what's available. Glad he came out with the video though and said something saying that it's not blown. And I wonder what people are gonna say now. I know people want stats and stuff and they want numbers and all that kind of stuff. I would like to see the equity curve on the account as well. To see what it looked like, what that loss happened, how he's been able to manage it back. And he's still trading the MAM, of course. He's still alive. He says it was only a pullback. That's pretty awesome. I've learned a lot from him. and watching him come back and continue to trade every day after that major loss, something that I tilt on to this day, and I cry like a little bitch when I take big losses, and I'm like, I am break even here. Come on, let me go break even. No, took me out there. I don't like how this happened, right? We rebroke the high once, twice, three times, and I had to go break even here. Even though we pulled back, I had to go break even here. This could still very well drive. It could be because my entry got slipped by like 2 pips. Um, but nah, I had to go break even there. Had to. See, like I get free signals from Don, but I don't take any of them. Like I'll give you an example. Today at 7:30, he had a trade. And do you see an entry here at 7:30? Here's proof that I don't copy that. But at 7:30, when he sent it and I received the signal, I'm like, what is he looking at? And what do you have that aligned with Don's buy signal? The trade that we just took now. Price created a high above most recent resistance, created support, retesting resistance, rebroke the high. 7:30 on the dot, which was this second candle push here that broke us outside of here, was where he took his entry. And I think he closed at like 6 pips or 10 pips. So, you guys could have held. There's nothing wrong with holding this trade. It still would have went in, but I'm a scalper. I'm managing risk. I'm not a swing trader. My rule right here. This says 10 SMA. The rebreak is only valid when we're trending, not when we have crossed in the last 15 minutes. Risk management. 2 opportunities to rebreak only. Every loss you've taken this week, you've let it rebreak multiple times and it's failed. And that is what I'm doing. So you can see my win rate there, how I am 50% wins, 50% break evens, right? Half my trades I risk manage and I go into break even. Half my trades go into profit. Sorry. Half my trades go into profit. Um, so what just happened right now? 50% half my trade went into profit, the other half went break even. I've caught 3 trades tonight though. But you see this 1 minute level right here, how it's important? That's what my target was. Now that we've reached my target, now we need to come up here and do the same thing we just did here, but up here. Now that we're having a 30-minute closure, let's get a top wick. Let's pull back. Let's pull back, confirming that this is kind of like a small resistance. And then we start to fill the wick, break above after we form some support here. And then we have good indication that we're going to continue this trend up. Then we can look for like a 5-minute consolidation before we break out. Possibly here, we're going to see some kind of a struggle. How much were you up, Jay, before August 26th? Because I know when Don left after 9 days of the man being up, he said the man was up 8% after 8 trading days. So I'm like, damn, if he consistently made 1%, yeah, I was just telling options that if I was to if I had the opportunity to invest in the MAM, I would have put in 5 grand in there. And knowing that we had went 2 months without losing, personally, the way I manage risk, I would have withdrew the entire amount. All of it. Took in my 5K with it too. And then knowing the trading strategy, after a large win streak, a large loss comes. Like I remember Elvis was talking on stream saying that he had enough to basically live off of with the way Don was going in the MAM. How you doing, Richie? My brother from another mother. How's your wife, bro? How are the soon-to-be babies? Yo, Richie, say what's up to Alfredo.
Mom?
Richie's in
Yo.
the chat. Marica. You know what I've been thinking, chat? Do any of you guys speak Spanish?
Chilling me bailing.
Do any of you guys speak Spanish?
Yo hablo español. I heard it.
One of my 4 languages. Jay, you're a fucking G, bro. Pequeño. Spaceman, I lost it because I didn't use it. Pinche Samuelito. Porque en esta industria no hay mucha gente que hacen esto en español y no saben cómo explicarlo en español tampoco. No se sabe la terminología, cómo se dice en español, ni cómo explicar este tipo de movimiento en español. Toda la gente que lo hacen en español, la mayoría son fraude y venden courses que son basura. Yeah, I've been thinking, I don't know, I might dub some of my videos in Spanish. Because all of my Cuban cousins are coming up to me saying, "Yo, have you heard about this crypto stuff? Look at this Spanish guy teaching about it." And I'm like, "Bro, stop watching that guy. Watch me." He's like, "Bro, but you talk in English. I don't speak English." I'm like, "All right, bro, I'll do some Spanish streams for you." We're still trending here so clearly on the SMA. Another reason why I managed risk on the second rebreak of that high was because of the fact that my stop loss was 50 pips and it was still to the next resistance. Normally I would have liked the stop loss down here, but that's 100 pips. You know what I mean? So like after this drive, I'm waiting for this. I like to see this followed by this followed by that, right? So I waited for the trend. I waited for the consolidation at support. I waited for the breakout outside of the support. We confirmed us trending on the 10 SMA, and then I was comfortable taking buys. We confirmed our trend on the 10 SMA here, then I was comfortable taking buys. I want to confirm the trend, then I'm comfortable taking buys. We're not in clean traffic anymore. We're in the loading zone. So here, taking buys off the rebreak, expecting large pushes is not too valid because these pullbacks are 45 pips, 31 pips, 65 pips. So if you're getting a buy into any of these levels, you can literally have a 50 to 60 pip pullback stopping you out before it decides to continue driving up. Up 200 pips on the night, dude. 200 pips, I would be calling it. If I was up 200 pips in one night, I would breach the top step max profit rule. Holy shit, look at that. The reason that I like Top Step with the daily drawdown max, right? Let's say you do reach your buffer, right? Your $2,000 buffer. Let's say you make $1,000 more, and you have $1,000 of profit. You have $3,000 total in your Top Step account. You now have basically technically $3,000 of margin because you lose 1,000 one day, you cut yourself off, you still have 2,000 of buffer, you lose another 1,000, you breach the trailing, you still have another 1,000 to go before you breach the account. So you technically have 3,000 of drawdown split across 3 different days. Whereas with Apex, if you're not above that threshold, bro, your trailing drawdown can still fuck you even though your account's in profit. Yeah, honestly, I saw this girl trading using the 10 SMA, how she was scalping, and when you do catch the trend, going break even is not ideal. Trailing stops is the ideal, right? You know, when we entered, I'll give you a good example. This is something that I sample sized myself right now, right? When we broke these highs right here, when we first entered off the rebreak of these highs, that we had this push here that I closed, I should have been in this with more entries so that I could have taken partials. I should have taken 50% of my position off there and then trailed my stops from these lows to these lows, right? And then as price drove, that we drove up after creating another support here on the 1 minute, I should have then trailed my stops up to here. And then after we did the same thing here, I should have then trailed my stops up to here. And you know what I mean? But like not like there exactly, maybe to like the middle of the body. But that's where I saw her trailing her stops all the way up, catching the full trend on the 1 minute. Ray, you're delayed. Yeah, now we're just flying. So the best future pairs during Asian is, in my opinion, I like to trade the Nasdaq and gold. People are saying, "Oh, the Nasdaq has no volume," and I'm gonna tell you that you're sadly mistaken, my friend. Sadly mistaken. Market open. Where's market open? 6 p.m. market open. Is this no volume? 361 ticks. Pips, is that no volume? You know what I mean? What did I do? I know that when market opens and we gap up off market open, look, this is a play that I've been backtesting, and I want you guys to backtest this as well, right? I want you guys to backtest this. When on market open across any pair, when market opens, right, and you get a gap up off market open, the retest of that gap gives us the same kind of push that we initially got, almost like 80% to 90% of the move, right? So we gapped up, and now this gap gave us an 84 pip move. When we came back down, that we retested the gap that we confirmed respecting this level here, after we drove up here, that price pulled back a little bit, then I took the rebreak of the high. And then I caught like 12 pips here, right? What did we do here? We mimicked the same exact move that happened here off the opening gap. We retested the gap and price jumped. So that's a play that I've been looking at, especially on the 1 minute too. So price gapped up here, right, and started driving. When price then came back down, closed below, and wicked into the gap, you could have taken a wick entry buy off the gap, knowing it would have most likely retested that high again, because there's a high possibility of it doing so. And it did it again, and then it did it once more because it never fully filled the gap. The gap fill was like 6 pips away, and it finally filled the gap and then continued to drive. So I want you guys to take a look at that and see if that's something that you notice as well, because I've been noticing it so much, and this is one of the first few trades that I've taken doing that. So like one time price gapped to the downside, right? And then we started forming my setup, and then but there was a gap here, and knowing that every time that we retest that gap, we usually mimic that same push down, right? Pretend there was a gap here. I was like, all right, cool, rebreak of the high, but there was a gap there. And I had that in the back of my mind that, oh, well, usually every time we tap these gaps, we mimic that move back to the downside, right? And I said, fuck it, that's not something that I've back tested enough. Let me just take the rebreak of the high. I tried to take the rebreak of the high, and it immediately dumped. Immediately dumped. So I've been taking trades with it. Even they're the counter trend trades, because that gap is so strong, we're always going to get some sort of push off that gap. Yeah, I just filled my whole entire range. Now, what I wanted to see here, I need to see it above here, right? Yeah, we can start looking for some reversals, but in order to get some reversals, some sells, you would need to see you would need to see it fail to break out, do something like that to come down, the SMA start to scoop like this, and then we can take some sells. But then the bottom of this range is already tough. You know what I mean? How many pips do we have here? Oh, that's quite a bit of pips. We have a 100 pip range here. So my rebreak of the highs setup trending on the SMA is still setting up here, but this is not clean traffic anymore. Clean traffic is this. I can take my setups here to mimic the clean traffic here. I'm not if you're gonna mimic what happens here, you're gonna mimic a shit ton of reversals here, buddy. Even though that we're at resistance here for me, I wouldn't be able to take this even if it was the money printer to a resistance. I would have had to manage risk so fast there. Now, if we break back above these ranges, I could take continuations. But the fact that we've been driving like this off this hourly, we need a pullback, bro. The last 15 minutes of the hourly, we're going to get a pullback. Especially since this is a 15-minute strong level area right here. Let's ensure that we close above. Let's ensure that we close above. So, we know, look at how I break things down, right? We have an hourly closure coming up in 15 minutes. We know that if we're truly going to remain bullish, our hourly is going to need to leave us a top wick. We're going to need to close above this range, and then it's going to need to create a bottom wick and then flip up. So that means we're going to be pulling back for the top wick. We're going to be pulling back for the bottom wick before we drive up. So in these massive ranges, do you have the drawdown to hold through those bottom wicks, or would you rather wait for the closure and then take your entries to refill the wick to the highs, or re-break the daily highs? So we don't have a closure above here yet. On the 5-minute, we just had our first closure, but no bottom wick here. We don't have any wicks on these candles. So we can't be expecting too much here. How are you, Turpy? So I'm also going to be trading my top one account, 25K challenge on stream as well. So once I get my credentials for that, I'm going to be trading that on stream. So I'm doing a 50K top step and a 25K top one, and I'll be doing that all on stream as well, so you guys can see my progress. One lot burned my account. I wasn't ready for that in my head. So I'm gonna give you a tip. No rush, bro. I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice. You might, it's all my opinion, obviously. None of that shit matters. But if you were able to flip 500 to, oh, would you say like 10K or 11K or something like that in that short amount of time, I would withdraw all of it except for 500 and restart off the 500. If I blow the 500, I'll just send in 500 more. If I lose the 500 again, I'll just send in 500 more. If I lose the 500 again, I'll just send in 500 more. And you can keep repeating that 500 process until one of those 500 hits for another 15K. So how many tries do you have? You have 30 tries before that happens. You know what I mean? So you'll have 30 tries to flip your 500 back to 15K like you previously have done multiple times. So you know you can do it. So like, that's happened to me, bro. That's happened to all of us. I had, so Apex had a rule that once you reach the 6,500 profit target, you can withdraw up to $2,000. If you withdraw $2,000 once you reach that profit target, you only have 4,000 left of drawdown in the account. And I was at like 7,200, something like that. I had like 2,800 that I was gonna withdraw, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna leave the buffer. This 800 is not enough for me. I'm gonna grow that to 2K, and then I'll take a 2K payout and leave 2K buffer. Or if I'm feeling frisky, I'll take a 4K payout. And what happened? Instead of me just taking a quick 800 bucks, I got greedy and I lost like 1,000 the following day, and now I couldn't qualify for a payout anymore. And then I revenge traded and lost another 1,000, and then I was like, oh fuck. And then I revenge traded and lost another 1,000. Now I'm like, oh shit. And now I had 3,000 of drawdown left on the account. So what did I do? What does every dumbass do? I full ported like a 10 lot. Price went up 2 grand in my favor, and instead of closing, making back 2 of the 3 grand that I lost, I said, nah, I'm gonna make it all back and then my payout. So I held, and what happened? Price pulled back from 2 grand down to 1,000 negative, and now that accumulated the final 3K of drawdown, because 2K in profit, which now went to break even, accumulated 2K of drawdown, and now I went negative 1K. And after going negative 1K, it breached the account, even though I still had 3 grand of profit in the account. I breached because of the trailing drawdown and lost. So I could have taken an $800 payout and then continued on the journey, but I didn't. I decided, nah, 800 isn't enough. I need more. Taken. I should have taken. Could have taken. Taken. Not Tekken. Taken. Tekken is old. Tekken doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, bro. Exactly. I got too cocky and the markets humbled me. And that shit traumatized me. In my head, I take these prop firm accounts as if they're a bank really giving me this money to trade for them. And every time that I fail them, I'm like, oh fuck, I failed the banks. How can I ever really like manage a shit ton of money if I keep fucking it? You know what I mean? A little bit of money, oh, that's so easy. I'll flip the account any day. But then the second that the account gets large, you're like, ah, fuck. Yeah, I would really like to know what how Don was feeling that day when he lost that much money. What's this? 18 wins, 4 losses. That's an 81% win rate, 82% win rate on stream. Yo, Hank, what's up, dude? Let's get a flex in the room for Hank. Let's get a flex in the room for Hank. Bro, that was the most inspirational shit that I've had ever seen in my life. When Wix was like, yeah, I lost 150. Oh, wow. 150. Oh, wow. Fucking ticket and a half. I'm like, holy shit. What? And he's like, yeah, but I'm here. I'm not going to make it back in a day, but we're going to make it back. And even though he planned on raising his lot size, he raised his lot size. And within the next 30 fucking days, pulled it all back in. The next 21 days, not even 30 days. Homie said week 1, 30K. Week 1, 50K. Week 2, 50K. Week 3, 50K. Bow, 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 bow. 500, 500 pips, 500 pips, 500 pips. He was already planning on increasing his lot size. But then he lowered it for news because news was fucking us. And then after he took that loss, he just went back to his higher lot size that he was already originally doing. So he like went on, then off, then back on. But look, Alfredo, my mentor lost $150,000 in a day. Most people, when they lose that kind of money in a day, or they lose that much in a day, they're like, oh, this can't be possible. I'm too skilled. I'm way too fucking good. I gotta go make it back. It's like as if you're playing basketball and you miss your first 10 threes and you're like, oh, but I'm usually on fire. Brother, it's time to maybe your arm hurts or something. Something's tweaking. Maybe you gotta chill the fuck out. You'd be a dumbass to keep going. And that's what people do. They keep going and keep going and keep going and end up blowing their accounts. All the progress they've made all year, they end up blowing it in a day because they don't know how to take a loss. And they don't know how to react after they take a loss. That's why being a sore loser is one of the worst things that you can do. You have to know how to lose. You have to be able to take a loss like a champ. If you lose, you can't make up an excuse and say, "Oh, no, I lost because
I didn't do this.
my shoulder's tweaking. No, I didn't hit 225 today because my shoulder's tweaking." Or because you're a pussy and you haven't been to the gym in fucking weeks. You know what I mean? It's just like that. He took a 150K loss. The next day he came back and he said, I made this mistake. This is something that I normally don't do. I'm not going to make this mistake again. And then within the following 3 weeks, he made everything back. All of it back. And then some. And now it's been like another 2 weeks since that. And he's continuously made like 50 pips a day consecutively for weeks now. So he's probably going to end the year with like a 1.5, $1.6 million account. That's insane. I watched the entire video and I don't understand why people are angry. Like, what do you want to hear, bro? Do you want to hear him explain why he took 300 trades in a day? Do you want to hear why a 24-year-old trader who's managing millions of dollars had a bad trading day and broke his plan? Come on, bro. These are self-explanatory questions, bro. He's a 24-year-old managing multi-millions of dollars, and you don't think mistakes are going to happen? As genius as he could be, 5 years of experience is still 5 years of experience. It's not the same as 10. It's not the same as 20. And if it's your first year managing multi-millions, your 5 years of experience is managing 1 million isn't going to prepare you as much as you'd think for managing 5 million. Even though the concept's the same, the trades are the same. See what we do here. I don't know, bro. I don't know if it's because I'm a fan, or because I'm biased. I don't know, dude. I thought that video was fire. He's got a new house. I was looking at the radiators in the back. I'm like, oh, he's still in Canada because in America we don't use them shits. At least in the hot places in America. And if he was to move to America, he wouldn't be moving here to a cold place. He's got a new crib. I saw that. It's like as if right now, right? Last night, I took 2 entries and I closed my trade at 20 pips. If I would have held and hit stop loss, some people would have been mad and said, yo, you're trash. Your trade hit stop loss. You made me lose a lot of money. You have a 90% win rate. How come this fucking trade hit stop loss, bro? For 80% win rate. Like, bro. This is not a signal service, bro. This is a learn how someone manages in the live markets and how I make decisions in the live markets. Because as much as I spent years copying Don's signals and Wix's signals, that shit hurt me more than it benefited me. It hurt me way more than it benefited me. When Wix takes a signal on stream, I don't copy it. Like, when Wix went to 300 pips of drawdown, I would have blown my funded account. If I would have done that, that would have blown my account. I would have had to manage, taken like a 50 pip loss, and then I would have been like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have copied his trade. Why did I copy the trade? Now I have a 50 pip loss. Now I gotta make it back. Now, and now because I copied somebody else, I took a massive loss that wasn't with my plan. But like earlier today when Wix took sells, the sells that he took, the 1 minute looked identical to this. Identical. The 1 minute looked identical to this when Wix took sells earlier today. So I copied, not didn't copy it, I took the same sells. Why? Because the 1 minute looked identical to my 1 minute setup. And I was like, cool. This is a trade that I agree with because it's my setup. When it's not my setup, I'm not taking that shit. We got 2 minutes. Let's go to Don's and see. Wow, look at this bot with 460 likes. What the fuck do you want to hear sorry for? Look, I take full accountability for what happened. You have collective hearing. Explain the 300 trades in 1 hour. He pressed the buy and sell button 300 times. What up, bougie? You want to know something? That day that Don lost 4,000 pips, I blew 3 funded accounts. Or 2 funded accounts, something like that. Live accounts. Because I blew one, right? And then I said, there's no way this man's gonna lose again. And I took an, and then I blew the next one. And then I said, there's no way this man's gonna continue losing. And then I blew the next one. And then I bought an evaluation account to try to pass it in the same day and fund it in the same day. And then I blew it again. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? What is going on? Don is just having a bad day and I can't keep fucking copying him. When I'm scared of trading, I go back and I think, why am I letting worldly things affect how I feel inside? And this goes back to my religion and the way that I think biblically. But God put me on this earth to have everything in life in abundance. And in the Bible, it says there's no point in worrying about tomorrow or worrying about the next days. Don't waste your time doing that shit. If I'm scared because I just took a loss, if I'm scared to take an entry, there's no point in being scared. There's no point in having hesitation. There's no point in feeling those feelings because they're not good. They're not going to do you any good. So the best thing to do is to shift your mindset. Stop thinking them and think of other things and force yourself to be happy and force yourself to think to be positive. You know what I mean? It's like you fake it till you make it, bro. You fake not being emotional until your emotions go away. You think better thoughts until those bad thoughts go away. You drown out the bad thoughts with good thoughts. You'll never understand why you do shit that you do. You know what I mean? You just know that you gotta not do them. Like this is a quote that I have from the Bible here. It's in Romans 7:15. It says, "I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. It's saying that I don't understand why I do the shit that I don't want to do. And the things that I really, truly want to do with all my heart, I don't seem to do them. Why is that? It's because you'll never understand why your fucking brain works the way it does. You just gotta understand, oh shit, what are my triggers when this happens? Oh fuck, I'm realizing that I'm tilting. I need to get off the markets. Or I need to do something to counteract that and to stop feeling those feelings. If you're tilting and you're like, oh shit, I just took a loss, let me full port the next one. Think, what happened last time that I full ported an account? I lost. What happened the time prior? I lost. Have I ever won full porting an account? Never. So why am I full porting right now after I took a loss? Read that. Yes, sir. Christ is king. But I'm telling you, bro, it's like it all goes back to the same thing, bro. There's so much wisdom in the Bible, and it's so clear. And I have these things written down because sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, why did I do that? Why did I do this? And now you can't reminisce in the past anymore. I did it. What am I gonna do to prevent that from happening again? What am I gonna do to prevent me from feeling those feelings again? Or when I do feel them, what am I gonna do to eliminate them, or to make myself feel better, or to forget about them? If it takes getting off the charts for 2 fucking days, then you gotta do it, bro. If you can't trade after a loss, you gotta get the fuck off the charts. It's, I don't know, some people don't like religion and stuff, bro, but it's just so much easier walking through life knowing somebody's got your back at all times, bro. And even though you don't always feel it, bro, you just gotta remember that it's like that. That it's really like that, bro. You have a fucking bodyguard with you at all fucking times. You just gotta trust it. So obviously you're not gonna win every fucking trade, but you can have the wisdom and then strength and the discipline and the stoicism to manage and risk manage and to follow your plan. The plan's there for a reason. Just like the Bible. It's there for a reason. That's your plan. You don't gotta understand why God does what he does or why he says what he says. You just gotta trust it and follow it. Just like your plan. Once you formulate your plan, you don't gotta keep doubting your plan and saying, ah, maybe my plan sucks. Maybe I gotta do this. No, bro, you have your edge. Trust it and execute and just listen and just do what it says. And that's it. Don't question it. And don't say, oh, maybe I don't need the bottom wick right now because price is driving so bullish or whatever. But you wait for the bottom wick every time, bro. So why are you not going to wait for it now? You always wait for it. And you always just follow the plan regardless of what it says. Regardless of if you understand it or not, you follow it. It's not your job to understand. It's your job to execute. It's all related, bro. It's like the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill," and you're like, "But why? I kind of don't like this guy. I would love to fucking pow pow." Doesn't matter why, bro. It says don't do it. Doesn't matter why I went break even on that trade. My plan says after the second re-break, I have to go break even. Yes, it would have felt good now to break my plan, to sin. It would have felt good in the moment, but what about that time that it failed and would have went against me if I would have not went break even? So that's how you have to think, bro. It's all the same shit. It all coincides with each other. See, in my bio, I put God, America, charts. God first, my country, my people, my family second, and then the charts third. because I live and breathe these fucking candles, dog. Shit has become my fucking passion. Ever since I seen my boy make fucking millions of dollars doing this, I'm like, ah, no. This guy, I went to school with him. He's a fucking dumbass. He was raised by his parents. Fucking, I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking he's a dumbass kid. He's a moron. And then it turns out he's fucking super fucking smart. He's good in fucking business. Fucking, and I'm over here judging off the sidelines because I don't know shit. Because you just see from the outside. And that's what I initially thought, oh, if this dumbass can do it, I can do it too. And then that's how I started trading. Now realizing his whole story, how he like lost $5 million and like he made money and then lost a lot of money and then pivoted, crazy shit. When that whole what's that page that took everybody's money? Trader's Domain. Shit went down. I heard he lost like $5 million bucks. Shit's crazy. I lost money in there too. Wix had money in there too. Check this out. When Trader's Domain went down, '01 2023 is when I made my account. And then True Blue came out saying they're migrating everybody's accounts. Nah, I didn't. You can have it. Thank you. True Blue FX. They made their accounts, right? And now I'm like, yo, I've been trying to withdraw my $75 for several weeks now. How can I access my old account? I tried my old credentials and it didn't work. It's not working. It says my account's invalid. How do I transfer money from my account? And then they had to like redo my account and redo everything, and they didn't even ask if I was American or not. This is the thread of me talking with True Blue about them resetting my account and everything. And they gave me an account on MT5. It says I'm from fucking Greenland on there. They put me as a Greenland citizen, and they told me that that's fine, not to worry, that all I have to do is just withdraw crypto. And that page is still on. They're still active. Wix had money in there. He said that he lost 150K in there. He said he lost 150K in there, right? Or something like that. He said it was 6 figures. And now his account's like at 1 million. So that means that a year ago, 2023, he had 100K, and now he's at over 1 million off that 100K. Some shit like that. That's insane, bro. Holy fuck. And I'm over here thinking I need all these funded accounts. Like John has put this thing up, and he's like, "How do you want to make 10? You want to make 100K trading? How do you make $100,000 trading? You take 10K, and you make 5% a month. A month. When you compound that over 3 years, you'll have 100K. 5%, 50 bucks. Are you capable of making 50 bucks in a month? Or 500 bucks off 10,000? I'm pretty sure you are. And all you got to do is compound that. You don't take your money out. We're having a 15-minute closure now. I was thinking of taking the rebreak of the high here on that, but the 15 is starting to close without barely a top wick. Maybe it's pulling back now to give us a top wick, but then that would be a bearish second closure. So we might be starting to come down here. So let's see, let's watch us start to, we've already started to flip on the SMA, but now we're starting to scoop again. So let's see if we confirm and we start to stay underneath it. If we do start to stay underneath it, we might be able to scalp some cells. Yo, say something to stream. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
What it do, stream?
Anything? You should have promoted your fucking cars and said, yo, I sell cars. If you guys are trying to buy a car, I'll sell you a car. Pull up to Chevy, I'll sell you some vets. If any of you guys are in the Florida area and you need some Corvettes for sale,
They can be anywhere in the country, but I got them.
we do Amazon Prime delivery. Where have we rejected in the past, right? We have an area here. We have a support here, right? That could be a range that we're in. Let's restart these. This is a support. Resistance turns support. So this area is very, very strong. So I gotta see what price does here. Are we gonna make this a resistance and start coming down here, or are we gonna turn this to a support and start flipping bullish? So this area across the board is where price likes to turn around at, right? So we have proof here where support turns to a minor resistance and we dump. Resistance turns to support and we start to fly up. And we know as soon as we got here, price started to consolidate in this area and use it as a resistance. As soon as we got here, price started to consolidate. After it drove, why did we decide to freeze here? After we drove, why did we decide to freeze here? Because these levels are fucking important, bro. That's why you gotta have history and be able to look at the history and identify levels. How did we do that right now? All I did was I deleted all my levels. I went to the past. I marked up some levels in the past. And when you go to the future, why do they coincide? People are like, oh, it's just coincidence. No, bitch, because it fucking matters. These levels matter, bro. You got to pay attention to these levels. They matter. It's not a coincidence. They matter. So now we have to confirm. Are we going to use this as support to continue driving up, or are we going to use it as resistance to drive down? You see what I'm saying? It's like, right now it's perfect proof. I went to the history. I found the most logical level near the price points where we were at. And when you look into the future, it aligns perfectly with the situation that we're in now. Perfectly, to the T. This line was used as a resistance, price came down. This line is now used as a support, could possibly be a resistance. Let's see what happens here. So all of this matters, and this is why price action is important. And people are like, oh, history doesn't determine future, blah, blah, blah. Suck my nuts. I don't care what you say. What did Nightbot do? Nightbot, I don't even know, bro. I added so much stuff to Nightbot, and that motherfucker never comes to work. I gotta fire him. Is there a Daybot? How far back did this crypto pulled back? BTC? Let's see. Whoa, we pulled back 10 thou wows. Big, big, big numbers. Well, look at what I drew here, gang. Look at what I drew here. I drew an area here. Once we break this trend line here, I'm looking for a dump straight fucking down. If we start to, I'm gonna leave these lines up, bro. This is what I'm looking. I'm leaving these lines up for years. You don't have any crypto, Alfredo? I'm hesitant of this drive up with these dailies like this though, right? If that is truly gonna happen, I would like maybe a pullback to here on the higher time frame, right? So, knowing how we're driving, knowing how the daily's closed, knowing how this push went, we could be in a position to look for a push down, trying to confirm this area as a resistance. If we can push below here, then our SMA would be trending on the 1 minute. Then we can take the break and retest below here and catch that push down. You catch what I'm saying? So let's see what happens here. 9:30 is about to close. You know what? I haven't taken my G test. Also got a good chance to promote. I take this test booster called G test. It has a tri-blend of 3 different natural ingredients that help boost your testosterone, and I promise you it's one of my favorite things to take. HTLT subs, use code EddieLifts. You see it right here. Code EddieLifts, or sorry, yeah, code EddieLifts for HTLT subs. My Apex code is some weird fucking letters. You get 15% off if you use my code. For Bougie, you know exactly. Oh, let me write down. I always keep track of how many pills I take. It is the 18th. Damn, it's been 4 days since I took my last 2. So here you have your normal vitamin 3, your B6, you have your magnesium, you have your zinc, your Fedosia agrestis. We also have our ashwagandha, you have your shilajit extract, you have your Tongat Ali, you also have your ginger extract and your saw palmetto extract in here as well. with black pepper fruit extract as well, and a little bit of boron as well, some boron citrate. So all of the things, a lot of the things that you take bougie all separately, they have it in here at their max dosage of 500 milligrams, 400 milligrams, 250 milligrams. So they have everything at their max dose here mixed all together. And it's pretty cheap too. A month, 2 month supply is like 30 bucks. I think this bottle cost me 50 bucks, and it has 60 pills, so 2 months. 30 bucks a month, like $1 a day. But I didn't use a discount for mine. With a discount, it comes out cheaper, like 40 bucks. You save 15% off. And this is one of the only companies that third party tests all their own stuff. They've been coming out with a lot of like cutting edge mixtures, and a lot of people don't think that the way that it's mixed together your body won't absorb it, so they do their own third-party testing to prove their products are superior to other products, in the sense that your body absorbs it in a much faster way, and in a better, absorbs more of it basically. One of the products that they have on the market, they're the only ones with a study proving that that product is real. Everybody else that sells it is using the Chinese knockoff of the real version of the product. So it's a supplement that China makes that's basically a placebo, and he's the only one with the real extracts from the tree. Have a good night, Joshua. Stay safe. You're gonna climb a mountain. That's beautiful, bro. Touch some grass, take some pictures, post it in the Discord. Let us know what you're looking at, brother. And this shit just froze here, brother. The market just froze. Let's see if we can get a push down. Moondang is that hippo from Thailand that came super popular all over social media. Pasa el balón, people. No lo estés aguantando.
Holding it as long as you do.
Yeah, but if you look at my stream, bro, every time I have a blunt in my hand, I never stop smoking it.
What do you mean? You're talking half, more than half.
Yes, then in between every 3 words, there's a dope. How about you learn from that Korean boy, not Chinese, brother, and catch some fucking pips. And catch some pips, my dude. If you scroll back on stream, you'll learn something today, bro. If you scroll back on stream, you'll learn something today. And maybe you'll learn something now. We're starting to break below the support here. The 15-minute is starting to break below. The 15-minute is flipping. The 30-minute is gonna close bearish. Let's hope we get a bottom wick on this 30. We get a top wick and then a flip bearish. And then we can start looking for the rebreaks of the lows here to fill this range back down. That would be confirming this level of resistance here. And then we can get some sort of some trades here. Let's see what happens when this 30 closes. Look, Jermaine, you need a blunt, brother. I don't know if I'm shorting gold yet. So what I was saying earlier was this level right here is a very strong level across the board. So this level right here is where price has used it as resistance, right? So the price use this as support and to drive up off of. Use it as support to drive up off of. Right here, price used it as support, then turned it into a resistance here to drive down. It was a resistance here prior, then it turned it to a support to drive up. So this is a very strong level. And when you look down on the lower time frame, what happened when price came down to this level? We closed below, it used it as a resistance to drive down. So now that we're at this level, price has a decision to make, right? We can be using this level as a support to drive up or as a resistance to drive down. So we're at an indecision level right now. So we have to wait for price to break out and give us a direction first before we can make a decision. Because we had clean range all the way through until we got to this level. Once we got to this level, you can see how price slowed down here, price slowed down here. It stopped breaking out and it stopped breaking out to the downside. So now we have to wait. What do you notice now? We have higher time frames closing, breaking us back down into range. Now, since we're still respecting this level, we could literally be just creating a support here to drive up and continue driving. So you have to be very careful with that. So we had just had a re-break of the low, but that's not enough to tell us that this is the drive down. The 5-minute SMA hasn't started scooping yet. That's something that I've learned on my own, apart from Don with the SMA, the way that it's trending. You can take some trades with the SMA. So let's wait for this scoop to happen. Let's wait for the SMA to start trending. Let's wait for price to break out, give us that pullback, and then we can take that entry when the higher time frame starts to re-break its own highs. So we just had a 30-minute closure. The 30-minute close bearish. I would like a top wick and then a push down. This 15 close bearish. I would like a top wick and then a push down. And then I would like to see it start to trend a little bit more, and then I can probably take an entry. I'm using the 10 SMA. You asked me on stream one time, would I be looking for sells off this level here, off the 30-minute bottom wick entry or something like that? Or yeah, or a re-break of the low, right, as price was doing this. And I remember explaining how on the 1 minute, how price drives up and created this little block right here, right? You see how we respected that level here? We can now mark that level up as important. So now this level is important. And how does it coincides with the higher time frame? So now we have to see, are we going to really break below and continue coming down? Or are we faking out off this level, grabbing orders off these lows, breaking the equal lows here to grab orders to come up? So now this level has given us even more importance because the 1 minute consolidated here, respected that, and now we're still slowing down in this area. So this is a very important area that's going to tell us, are we bullish or are we bearish? We're bullish for the day, so we want to see it respect this to drive up, right? But this could be the start of the reversal. So that's something that we want to really pay attention to, because on the higher time frame it aligns, and then when you go down to the 1 minute and you see the 1 minute starts respecting it, you want to really confirm that is breaking out. You can take an entry, right, like a sell entry, and hold higher drawdown like wicks, because you know you'll probably have a rejection off of all-time highs here if you do come down, and this range is massive. You have 80 pips here, right? So it all depends on what your stop loss are. You can probably take lower probability trades that you might need to pineapple out of. You know what I mean? What sounds quiet, my voice or the music? See, right now we're getting a decent sell setup, right? On the re-break of the low, 30-minute breaking down, 5-minute flipping bearish, everything is flipping bearish. But let's get a nice confirmation closure below, and then we can contemplate some sells. We have a lot of range here. Oh, I turned the music down to where you can hear it, but not that much because I don't know if this is still copywritten or not. I haven't gotten a copyright claim in like a couple months, but every time that I play a song, bro, I get copywritten, and I'm not trying to. People are finding me through the YouTube generals or like the scrolling through the live feeds or whatever. So I don't want to stop that from happening. Nice, nice. Yeah, it's what's my audio mixer? Let me turn this audio mixer a little higher. There we go. It should be fine here because can you guys hear the music on Zoom as well? So on these funded accounts, the way they work, you really want to have multiple accounts so that you can risk a little bit of money. They give you like $2,000 of total risk that you can do per account. So you risk, let's say, $200 per trade. That way you have 20 trades that you could lose before you lose the account. $20 per trade. So let's say across 20 accounts, you make $50 a day off each account. 50 times 20 accounts, that's $9,000 in a day. Oops. 50 times 20, that's $1,000 in a day. In a day. And you only made 50 bucks. In reality, you times that by 25 trading days, that's 25 grand in a month. Each account costs you 50 to purchase it plus 150 to activate it, so that's 200 times 20. So it costs you in total 4 grand, and in 1 month you made 25. That's the power of these funded accounts. Options, I saw your setup. I know what you were talking about. But like, you know what we were talking about earlier in the chat. I have to trust my plan and only take my setups because I'm not a swing trader. I'm not a trend line trader. I'm a scalper the way I trade, and that's it. I can't take anybody else's ideas, even though. Do you follow Don strategy? Yes, I follow Don strategy to the T. Candle structure, top wick, bottom wicks. I use everything. So I'll explain. So what did we have here, right? On we had a closure above the range. We're bullish, so we only need a range one breakout. So closure above the range, price pulled back to make a bottom wick, price flipped bullish, buy stop on the bullish flip on the break of the highs, right? That's a normal trade that we always take. So if you look at this entry right here, what do you see? What do you notice here? Price closed above the range. Price closed above the most recent range right here. Boom. The next candle closed doji. This next candle pulled back and had a top wick. When you look at Don's playbook, look, check this out, check this out, check this out. What do you see right here? Don's playbook right on my screen. Devious. That play right there was a celery closure above the range. The next candle closes doji, and then you have a rebreak of the high right here, and that's your entry, the celery play. So I do the same celery play, but on the lower time frame. So same celery play, but on the lower time frame. Same concept, price closes above. We have a doji closure on the break of the high. This is technically the same celery play, but with 2 extra candles. This is the 1 minute. So yeah, That's beautiful. You passed an Apex eval in 4 hours. Now, if the way Apex works, you can't make more than 30% of your payout, I believe, in a day. So let's say let's say you have a 50K account and you need 2,500 to get your payout, right? And you make 2,500 in 3 days, cool. But then let's say you make 2,500, let's say you make 3 grand in 3 days, your payout of 500 means I believe it means your max day can't be more than 30% of 500. So your max day has to be 150 in order for you to withdraw that $500 payout. So if you wanted to withdraw more, you would have to make it like $1,000 so that your $1,000 day is not more than 30% of that. So it's you have to watch the profits on there. Like with Top Step, I wouldn't make more than 200 a day per account. I'm a scalper, brother, so it depends. Fuck. I was gonna take a rebreak of the low here. Fuck. I was reading chat. So I can't take a rebreak of the low there anymore. I was reading chat. Damn. Let's throw it up on stream. Let's see what happens here. I was gonna take a rebreak of the low there. That's 11 pips. So let's see. I couldn't get my entry there. Let's see if we can get another entry. Let's see if we start to get a decent pullback here. No bottom wick closure here. Also, no bottom wick closure here. And price flew up off this level. We gotta be careful here. This would be my break-even point if you had an entry here. So let's wait for us to pull back and then reattempt to re-break the low, and then I might take another sell. You might be able to hit that. You might be able to hit that. So I risk about 50 pips per trade. So that's something that you'll notice. My stop loss is usually 50 pips from where my entry is. It depends. Sometimes it might be like 60 pips, 54 pips, 43 pips, 30 pips. It depends. So we closed with no bottom wick on the 5, and this 5 created a small bottom wick. The 15-minute doesn't have a top wick here, and now we're tapping into this 15-minute kind of support area here. So we gotta be a little careful here. A little careful here. Yeah, we have some support here when you look back, so let's be careful here. That would have been such a great entry. Damn. And it did come back to my entry though, so I would have had to close out those 14 pips. Let's confirm this trend on the SMA. Trend line traders, that is a beautiful trend line. Break and retest there for you. But we've already filled the majority of the important range here, and now we close no bottom wick here. So my sell there would have played out for 14 pips. When you asked me, do you trade like Don? That distracted me. When you said, where's your TP and where's your sell? I literally went here and went to go set a sell stop, and then price drove down, and I can't enter it anymore. That took away my vantage point already because I was only scalping to the bottom of the range there. So I was only gonna give price maybe to come up to here, and then I would have taken another pineapple here. But once price started breaking back up into range here, if I would have taken a rebreak of that low, yeah, that's like 50 pips, 40 pips. So I wouldn't have held much more deeper into this area because it's not probable for price to come up here to reject to then come back down. You see what I'm saying? We have a top wick. We don't have a top wick here on the 15. So if it does come up here, this is where it would reject to come back down, or at least to reject, and I can get out at break even. But now that we've already hit this range here, so I was willing to risk 40 pips to catch like 12 pips. So that's what you're gonna see 8 weed. I was willing to risk about 40 to 50 pips to catch 12 to 15 pips. And we'll do the math right here. So with my 80% win rate, if I'm catching 12 to 15, that's about 13 pips per trade times 8. That's 104. If I lose 40 on the next two, I'm still up 24 pips across 10 scalps. And 10 scalps, I get that in a session, in a New York session easy. So right now I've scalped once, twice. I would have had a third scalp there, and then I had a scalp here. So that would have been 3 scalps, 4 scalps tonight with 3 winners. So that would have been, that's 36 pips for the night. $15-minute closure in 10 seconds. This is probably gonna push, but with this 15-minute closes with no top and no bottom wick, what do we know about those candles? They usually get filled. And that's exactly kind of what happened now. Let's see. It also depends, Mango. The other, or not Mango, 8 weed. The other night, um, we caught 28 pips on futures, and Forex dumped 90 pips. So the Forex candle dumped 90 pips, and my candle dumped 23 pips. So if you would have caught those 90 pips, that gives you a lot of room. Ah, yeah. It's like adding up when you're in a winning trade. So yeah. That's a good plan. So if you had an entry at the break of the trend line on the retest here, right after we close below that, we've done this on the second rebreak of the low here, that's where I would add another pineapple, because that would just be a continuation of the SMA here. So it looks like here we did it more cleanly because we had more volume, and now that the volume is dying out, this push is happening a little bit slower, which means you can still take the same trade, but the push is probably going to be not as large, which is why this time around it only gave us 10 pips, but the last push it gave us a lot more than 10 pips. Hey, one thing I gotta encourage you guys to do is to make sure you go to the gym, you stay healthy, and you work out, bro. You see, if we would have FOMO'd into some sells here without following the plan, you could have gotten fucked. Yeah, you can't take a mango unless, let's say, let's say you can take a mango, because I have in the past, right? So this is how I would do it, right? So let's say we had cleaner wicks here. So these pushes here are pretty clean, but we have this level of resistance here, right? If we didn't have this level here and this was just pure clean traffic, right? I would have stacked on these entries. So you see how we didn't really confirm a breakout here, and we rejected it a few times before actually breaking out. There's no top wicks here, top wicks, or anything like that for me to confirm a more decent breakout. So let's say price would have gave me a decent top wick here on the break of the high here that I took. If price would have went against me and then respected these 1 minute levels. So let's say I took this entry, right? How price went negative on me. Let's say price came down to these levels here and then came right back up to re-break the high. I would take another entry on the re-break of the high because that would be a re-break of the daily high for the second time after respecting a level of support. So I got in on the first re-break and it didn't drive, so now I'm stacking a position on the second re-break. So now if that second re-break doesn't happen and price starts to come back down and consolidate, I now know that, hey, that's my second opportunity to re-break. I now have to manage risk even harder and probably close out the trade soon. So I've been taking those trades because on the second push, like it happened here, we got activated, price pulled back, and then it drove. I would have probably had a buy stop on the second entry, and it would have given us the same 15 pips, but on two entries, which would have been technically a mango, a stacked in a position in while I'm already in one in profit. So it's just anticipating the second rebreak of the high to give you that push. So now you're in two lots deep or two entries deep at the same spot. So that's one way that I would incorporate the mango. So that's one way that I incorporate it. No bottom wick on this five. And we've already filled the entire range up. Yeah, it's perfectly fine to leave money on the table. You just have to, like for example, you see how I have a 50% win rate, 50% break even rate. Um I'm leaving 50% of the trades on the table, so I'm gathering months of data and market cycles of data so that I can then look back and make a deeper breakdown of why I'm going break even. And okay, on these days that I'm going break even, the market is trending heavy, so maybe I can just hold to my stop loss. On these days that I went break even, the market wasn't trending as heavy, the market wasn't giving as much volume, so maybe on days where the volume is this way, I can go break even, and on days where volume is this way, I can attempt to hold for a little bit longer. And then I can make sure that the trade is the trade that has the room to play out, and not say, okay, well, half the time I go break even, so that means the other half the time I'm gonna hold. Well, that means you're gonna be now losing like 50 to 60% of the time, and only winning. For me, when I'm scalping, my full TP is 50 pips. So if I have a range of like 50 pips, and I know that the pop is gonna give me a decent push, I'll stack or I'll hold. And if after 10, after 15 pips to 20 pips, it's not really pushing and it's not giving me the push that I want, then I'll manage risk and start closing in profit. But when you're swing trading, the rules are much different. Like market mechanic trades 1 to 1. So that's stuff you need to incorporate, right? So that's stuff that I'm learning on my journey, right? So for example, I'll give you a perfect example of this trade right here. I was risking 40 pips. Let's say I went in with the one lot. I made 15 pips. That's 150 bucks. I would have left the point one running. That point one running would have made me $160. So that would have made me another 10 pips had it been a point one. If that point one comes back and hits my stop loss, I lose 4 pips. So in reality, I keep 10 out of the 15 that I just made. So all I have to do is leave a small runner, because even though, let's say 50% of the time I risk that point one going back to stop loss and I lose half the profits. On the other 50% of the trades, I'm going to be making double the profits. So that's going to be making up for it. And I'm going to be catching the larger moves, which tells me, okay, boom, I'll have much more data of larger moves caught. You know what I mean? So it's all about the data that you have and what you do with that data and how you can formulate your strategy around the data that you have. You know what I mean? So market mechanic has years of data doing his strategy, and that's why he holds for 40 pips. That's why his trades are at the levels that they are. They're at specific levels that will give you that bounce to 40 pips. So it's not like I'm taking bounces off 1 minute levels. He's taking bounces off daily, weekly, monthly levels. You know what I mean? That's what he waits for. So he waits all day, all week for that strong daily, monthly, weekly, hourly level to get tapped, and then he looks for his setup in that level. And that's why he can hold for 40 pips. Let's say he holds for 40 pips and he takes a partial, price pulls back and continues driving 40, 50 pips, then you can take another entry for the 80 pip. Yeah, it's not 101, but 101 is the first TP. Looks like we're using this level as support here. Let me update the journal. Wins. I'm on the 1 minute right now. Yeah, I go through the 1 minute. That's how I took these entries. If you drink both of those, 4 minutes, gang. For this hourly to close. This hourly is going to close doji. If this hourly closes doji, I want to pull back, a steep pullback on this hourly, and then a flip bullish, and then I'll take an entry bullish. That'll be the celery play on the hourly. This is the celery play playing out on the 30, but it's playing out on the last 5 minutes of the 30. So I don't want to be in that on the last 5 minutes of the 30, especially when these two candles don't have bottom wicks. On the 15, the 5 doesn't have a bottom wick either. So in order to confirm that we're not going to come back here for a bottom wick, I want to get a closure above these levels here, right? I want to get closures above there. I want to get a pullback and then a drive up, which will make this hourly the perfect celery play. Once this hourly closes doji, we above this level, we get that pullback, and then on the reflip, on the rebreak of this level here, then we can get some buys to fill in the previous hourly wick, right? Unless we start to fill it now without giving us that setup, but that's the setup that I'm looking for. Man, I spent 30 minutes talking about how important this level was right here. And what the fuck happened? We respected the shit out of that level and we took the fuck off. 67 pips off this level. Now, what happens here? You have a bullish closure, breaking out of the trend line. Price is starting to scoop here on the 5. You're starting to get the trend line reversal here. So if this hourly gives us that, we got to pull back here. If we get that doji closure on the hourly, bottom wick, and then that pullback, we can be looking for some longs. And I think that'll be like a market mechanic entry, if I'm not mistaken, right? If you get that trend line pullback, you get that pullback to retest the trend line to break back up to the upside, which would be the same thing as the hourly closing doji, giving us the celery on the hourly. That would be pretty good. And then if we do pull back to retest this and then drive up in the next like 5 or 6 minutes, that'll give us more length here on the SMA, and then we'll be able to tell fully if we're really scooping or not. So if we're starting to scoop and flip on the hourly, that would be similar to a daily rebreak of the higher low while you're going bullish. So that could be a good entry there. So 2 minutes, 2 minutes. If Bitcoin drops down to 75K, I'll start averaging in and start putting in $100. And then every time it drops 10K, every time it drops 20K, I'll put in another 100 and start averaging in. If I can get in like an average of like 50K, that would be a good average, because that seems like a good balance point. If Bitcoin does crash, we can always just go back to like the 50, 60K mark and just be chilling 30, 50, 60K mark. Then I'm only scaling in with a few hundreds, so if I am down and Bitcoin crashes to like 20K, I can just throw in a good chunk and average in pineapple in pretty fucking good. One hour just closed doji or lay candle. So my 1 hourly just closed doji, but we closed above the range. Hourly closure above the range. I need a steep bottom wick and then a reflip bullish. And that is a DVS play right there. That's our celery play. Once again, on the hourly time frame. What do you guys see that I take on the 1 minute time frame? Look at this. The onion plus the celery play. See how we create that high on the 1 minute, price pulls back on the 1 minute. The only thing that I change is I take the rebreak of this high instead of taking the rebreak of these highs here. So that's the only difference. This is the money printer right here on Don. So this is the money printer that we've been taking, that Don's been taking, that we just maneuvered our way. So you think that you invent something, but at the end of the day, it's been invented. This is the money printer right here, right? So, and then you just take your entry on the sell right here. So this is a variation of the money printer, not 100% exactly. But that's my entry on the 1 minute. That's the exact entry. Picture this right here, and now look at this. What do you see here? That's the exact same entry. Bam. On the 1 minute. Onion plus the celery play. Closure above the range on the 1 minute. It's the same shit. Same thing. Closure above the range. Onion. Bam. Same thing. The money printer has always been based off the onion. Yeah. So like every you guys, so some people are like, oh, you don't trade like DVS. I'm like, bro, look at the playbook and look at my entries, bro. Just the way that I'm looking at it is a little bit different. But it's the same thing. I learned everything from DVS. I wake up every morning and I look at this and I'm like, all right, onion, celery. I look for the breakout entry on the higher time frame, and then I look for my celery on the smaller time frame to confirm the breakout, and then I look for my onion plus the celery on the 1 minute to catch the rebreak of the high. So I work my way down like this to catch an entry, bro. I work from here to here to here, and then vice versa. Oop, I don't need my pictures. This hourly did drive up here. Starting to scoop on the hourly here. So we are starting to scoop on the hourly. We've scooped on the 30. We're scooping on the 15. The 5 looks like it might want to create a scoop again. And the 1 minute looks like it might start to trend. And we've closed above this most recent range. And now we're starting to come up here. What are we gonna do here? How steep is this 1 hour bottom wick gonna be? It's if this play is gonna play out, this wick can't be too steep and it needs to start re-breaking the highs now, right? But then if it does do that, then we don't have much of a bottom wick on the hourly. We don't have much of a bottom wick on the 30 or the 15 or these other time frames. So taking this specific trade right now without that steep bottom wick on the hourly is a little tricky. And if it does give us that steep bottom wick on the hourly, then it's not confirming this this SMA trend anymore, right? So we have to be careful here to see, because look, now that we're starting to close under the SMA, if we start to trickle down here for an hourly bottom wick and then start to pull up, it's going to start to cross over here, and then it's not going to give us that trend that I'm looking for. I want to see it remain like this. This is the only thing that I want to be in, right? As soon as we started breaking below this, the rebreak of this low was actually pretty valid, and we never rebroke it. Yeah, options. I was looking at this level. That's why I was saying when you were gonna add a mango, I was like, yeah, man, I would love to see it break below this level, and then I would add a mango there because I would just triple confirm that we're breaking down here, and then that would be perfect. You take your entry off your right here or whatever off the break and retest of the trend line. You take your mango here off the rebreak of the low once we start trending again. So yeah, yeah, and these moving averages are also important, right? Moving averages are a very common price, and a lot of big banks like these prices. They like moving averages for some reason. They like their prices to coincide with the VWAP or moving averages and shit like that. So they're all important. The 100-day SMA lined up with that rejection point. And then you're like, wow, that's another confluence that you can just add to your candles closing. Now you have a moving average that confluenced with it. It's possible I get a trade. If not, I'm going to call it. So if we re-break these lows here, I can't take a trade there. What would a re-break of the hourly high give us? Because if we do start to flip here bullish, we would close right back above the SMA, and this would just be the same thing that happened here, a small fake out. But if we do start to re-break this low, I will call it a stream, because we might have an entry. If we confirm this as a support and start to flip bullish, I can confirm that as a support and the re-break of the hourly high. But the fact that yeah, I'm gonna call it. Are you playing with my emotions here, buddy boy? Gold coming down, but created a top wick first. So this is an ideal position for buy soon, correct? So I wanted to see a bottom wick first, and then a flip bullish, but we filled the range where I would have went break even now. So I'm looking for a different advantage point. So where could I get a better advantage point? We've already filled the previous hourly wick, right? So my next advantage point would be if we do fill this wick again and re-break these highs, a fill to the next range would be ideal. We have 22 pips, 20 pips before the next stops there, and then the lows here, it's kind of large stops there, 70 pips, shit. But we want to make sure that this push here doesn't end, right? We're starting to break down here, but yeah, I like to fill the ranges on the smaller time frame and then re-break highs on the higher time frames and then aim for these higher time frame levels. So if the hourly re-breaks the high, the 4 hour would be re-breaking the high. Where would we target? To the fill of the wick, which is about 40 pips here on the hourly. But I'm gonna call it there, gang. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Make sure you use a stop loss. Try not to get faked out here. Price is starting to really be indecisive at this level here. I hope you guys caught those 15 pips, and whoever held for the duration of the move, you're a fucking savage, bro. Because from my first entry, price never came back for another 170 pips. So I had the bottom tonight, or the middle of the bottom. So you don't always have to catch the bottom to catch that banger move. But this is just more data for me. I was able to scalp it on the way up, and I ended the night up 30 pips. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Drop a like. If you're going to use any supplements, use my code. I got a little Apex code there. Apex takes a lot of my money, but don't let it take all of yours. Use my code and then take a payout. Have a wonderful night, brother. Have a good night, Dev. Options, Jay. Market Mechanics, see you on stream tomorrow. 7 o'clock sharp. 6:30 if he's early. He's going to get on the markets and start breaking shit down, and you really want to be there because you can scalp like me and you can long like him like a motherfucker and swing trade. You can learn both. So you can have a long running while you're scalping in the middle of your long, bro. So learn both. I'm trying to learn both because my scalps are doing me good. But if I can have a long running here on one account all the way through this while I'm scalping my way up here, that's banger money. So it might, unless you have some runners from New York into Asia, then it might be a little quiet per se, but that would be good proof of concept right there. If you do have a runner into Asia and you're up like 100 something pips, that would be amazing proof of concept right there, which is what I love showing, bro. Proof of concept. Dub, almost no drawdown. We analyze the market to the T. Proof of concept, bro. That's what a streamer should be doing. Proving that the concepts work, not just talking about them. So I'm home tomorrow on Friday, so I'm going to be on that. Yeah, bro. We're going to have good sessions. Good sessions. Have a wonderful night, everybody. See you guys for New York. Hope you guys have saved your accounts this week. Hope nobody blew an account. I have personally blown this month 2 50K evaluations. 2 50K evaluations I've blown this month. Transparent as fuck. Who else is gonna tell you that shit? I have it written on my whiteboard here. You can see my whiteboard right there. Gotta be transparent, brother. Ain't no faking shit here. Have a wonderful day, everybody. On to the next. Yeah, bro, it's all good, bro. Look, and then on Sunday, I won a 25K evaluation. These off a top one. These top one evaluations, the drawdown is the same as my 50K evaluation. So I basically just got another free 50K. So now I have 2 loaded accounts that I can work on. I've been working on this one for like a week and a half. So I'm up on the account 211 bucks, which was today what got me out of drawdown. But we're getting there. And then next year, I am working on depositing more money into my live account, and then I'm going to be trading that on stream as well, copy trading it to these accounts if I do get it funded. If I get these accounts funded, then I'm going to be copy trading them on stream as well. And then switching off between the top one and this one, I'll probably be doing like 2 nights a week trading the top one, and then I'll have my gold on the other side and see if I can maybe trade both. I have multiple screens now, so I can easily do both. But have a wonderful night, everybody. Enough of my yapping. Yaponomics 101. Peace.
under $1,000 or to get gifted or to give for Christmas or not for Christmas.
This also works not Christmas.
You can use the generic as well. There's no Christmas watch here. Like.
Watches aren't just for Christmas.
Watches are not just for Christmas. Watches have rights too. Before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel now. And if you want to buy or sell a watch, brideandpinion.com. We sell everything from Casio, Richard Mille, to AP, to Patek Philippe, to Rolex, to Tudor, to Omega, to whatever the hell. We sell it all. We buy it all.